Cool.
Yeah, this couch is like too big to podcast on.
I feel like this is an episode of Loveline. You remember that show?
Is that Dr. Drew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Adam?
Yeah, and Adam Carolla. I remember that.
They sat on a couch and they just had people call. I used to watch it on MTV when I was like in middle school. And my mom didn't let me watch it because they always called in about herpes and gonorrhea and sex.
It's like, Mom, what's a blowjob?
Yeah,
She's like, where'd you hear that?
Yeah, you would, and then everybody would call in and you could tell they were like making sure their parents couldn't hear them calling Dr. Drew, so it'd be very secretive.
Yeah.
But it was just sort of like this.
Welcome to the first Fitish podcast of 2021.
Is this season 2 or what is this?
This is season 2.
Season 2, I guess. Since
have we been doing the podcast almost the whole year? A whole year.
I think
we started
so.
it. We started it in February or something.
Right after you left the radio show.
Wow,
yeah.
We're almost at our year anniversary.
I'm new and improved. I am now water guy. So
it's such a meathead move.
It is a meathead.
If you're watching us, since we now post all the videos of this, please watch us. We get dressed for you. We're sitting on the couch. I put some plants behind us. I wanted it to look good. We've changed scenery since last time, but JC's doing that thing where you see people in the gym drinking an entire jug. You carry it everywhere, right?
Well, today's my first day.
Oh, okay.
So I decided not to start my New Year's resolutions. And I don't even know if they're resolutions, Jenna. I think they're more of lifestyle changes and goals.
Yeah, I don't do resolutions. I'm just make an effort to do some new shit.
Because I've noticed I'm getting older. And I was reading about getting older, and it says your skin starts to go and your hair starts to go. And the best thing to do for your body is to drink a lot of water. And I try to drink water all the time, and I just forget.
Yeah. That makes it easier, right? To just drink this huge thing.
My wife found this bottle. Not an ad. # not an ad. But it has the time of the day where I'm supposed to be at with my water. So right now,
wow, you're on point.
Yeah, I'm a little bit behind.
No, this is exactly the time of day that we're at, isn't it? Yeah, for the most part, you're good.
Past it, yeah. So I just keep track of the time, and if I'm not caught up,
how much water is that?
I don't know. Oh, it's a gallon.
1 gallon a day?
So I guess I'm drinking a gallon a day.
This is the thing that we started talking about before we launched into the podcast today. I hate peeing all the time, and I love feeling hydrated, and I love having clear urine, but I hate peeing all the time.
I peed 5 times this morning. I love peeing though.
Why? It's such a grind. You got to like undo the pants and the outfit and sit down. And I don't know. It's just such a pain.
I don't know. I think it must be a guy thing.
Oh, all guys love to pee?
I think so. I think anytime anything comes out of there, it's cool for us.
Little boys. How does anyone like having to get up in the middle of the night to pee? I hate it. And even when I'm dehydrated at night, I'm like, I know I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night and have to pee.
Oh, my favorite is waking up, looking at the clock and seeing that I wake up at like, my first alarm goes off at 3:45 or whatever. If it's like 2 hours before my first alarm goes off, I feel this jolt of joy because I know I'm just going to get up. I sit on the toilet at night because I don't want to be super stream guy and wake up Kinsey. And then I just sit there and I just kind of fall asleep, and then I get up and go back to sleep easy. It's the best.
Gosh, see, I can't go back to sleep after I peed. I start getting on my phone. You saying that you had to get up at 3:45, that alarm, it just gave me the willies.
I don't get up at 3:45. I want to. That's part of my goal. My goal is to get up and do my meditation and my yoga, but it's never 3:45.
Gosh, I know the schedule makes it so hard, doesn't it? But I'll tell you what, a lot of people say to me, like, do you miss the show? And I'm like, well, yeah, there's elements that I miss of getting up and doing a radio show. However, every morning when I wake up at 7:30 or 7:45, I think about JC. And how I'm not getting up that early anymore, that he's been up forever. And I just think, wow, after everything, that's the one thing I'm so glad I don't have to do anymore. It's all about the sleep. It really is. But I'll tell you what, it's so true. I'll set that alarm for 6 a.m. and I've gotten so used to sleeping in more, and it's cold outside. And I'm like, I'm going to get up this morning, for instance, 6 a.m. this morning and work out.
Nope.
I peed and I set my alarm for 7 and then 7:45. And because no matter what, it feels early. You know what I mean? When you don't have a choice, you have to get up. And you say, if I didn't have to get up and do this radio show, I'd get up and work out. So, because I'm going to make some more effort. I did not work out much last year. I'm going to make more effort this year to exercise.
I thought I worked out a lot last year, but I went to the gym the other day. And, you know, I still feel like I have a little blanket of security because I had COVID and I still have antibodies. So,
oh, yeah, you do.
So I'm like, okay, I can go to the gym. And I went to the gym. And this dude looked at me, and he's the guy that has like all the brand new clothes on the gym. Like clearly he's making a return, and that's great. I think that's awesome. I love seeing the new people that come to the gym. But he looked at me at one point and he goes, hey, so you decided to come back to work out as well.
You decided to come back
And I
so
don't know how to
insulting.
take that. I don't know how to take that because that's very backhanded, right? I was like,
Look, you don't know what I've been doing at home.
I was like, I didn't really stop coming to the gym. And he goes, oh, that's it. Just left it at that. Oh. So then I started thinking, I'm like, what, am I growing mad boobs? Did I not look right? Am I wearing the wrong thing? Am I fat? All these things that I shouldn't be thinking, but I started thinking because this guy just said oh to me. Is that bad? Does that make me a chick?
No, it doesn't make you a chick. It's just making me think about Francisco, my Mexican lover, and how he hasn't been wanting to work out with me lately, and it's made me mad.
Why?
I feel like fights are different when you're engaged.
Yeah, I was gonna say I keep getting blinded by this thing on your finger that we haven't talked about on the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Do you like it? It's nice.
I do like it. Franny did a great job with the engagement ring.
Franny did a great job. No, it's great. No, I'm kind of kidding. I mean, being engaged, it feels the same. I think because I'm almost 37 years old. And so when you date someone for a couple of years and we've lived together since pretty early on, nothing much has changed. I mean, we're not wedding planning or anything like that. So nothing's really that different, except it does bring an extra element of like stress to fights because you feel like, why are we fighting?
What are you fighting about? We're
engaged now. What did we fight about? Okay, well, most recently it's been, we got in a fight about the new dog.
You got a new dog as well.
We got a new dog.
You got engaged, got a new dog, pissed this one off.
Yeah, look at this one. You can't even see her. She's so depressed right now. Okay, so new dog. Let's talk about that because that's very exciting. This is what we fought about. So we have for almost 9 months been on a wait list for DFW Pug Rescue.
It's that long of a wait list?
So that's where I rescued Wheezy from 6 years ago. I got her when she was 2 years old. She's been the most amazing dog I've ever had. And, you know, rest in peace, Maximus. But like, Wheezy's been great.
Like Wheezy has never barked at me. Never.
Look what a sweet little girl she is. But
she came up and cuddled up on me. Max, on the other hand, used to bark at me and steal my socks.
No.
He'd run into my apartment, grab my socks, and run back to Jenna's. And
I just had such deja vu. I hate deja vu. It's such a weird thing. Even though once you find out what it is, that it's just like your brain not firing at the right time. But I feel like you've said that before.
Circuit. It's a short circuit.
Yeah, he would steal your socks. It wasn't deja vu. I've actually said that exact thing before.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Fran and I have wanted to rescue another dog. We're really into rescue, and it makes us better people than all of you that get puppies. No, I'm kidding. You've rescued too, so it's good. No, we just like saying that. It's not a big deal. I get why people want puppies. They're adorable, but they're a pain in the ass. And there's so many good dogs out there that need good homes. And so anyway, but we've wanted a young one, right? And so as luck would have it, we actually went to see a dog that looked like one of yours. What's the one that I like?
You like Piper.
Piper's the kind of Brussels
curly hair. She looks like Chewbacca.
The one that I like. So so we found a dog that was a Brussels Griffon pug, and we went to meet her. She looked a little bit like Piper. We went to meet her, and she was crazy, and we just couldn't do it. And then funnily enough, the next day I get a call from DFW Pug Rescue saying, we found this little boy. He's incredible. He was living outside. This woman didn't want him. Do you want to go see him because you've been on the wait list for so long? Yeah, absolutely. So without hesitation, Fran and I went the next day. He was at a foster down the street from us. This couple of guys, they have 3 pugs. And so we went in and it was just an amazing afternoon. We took Wheezy so it was like 5 pugs running around, right? And he was so cute and great. So he's a pug light. So he's a touch of French bulldog. Apparently that was the thing. And so this girl, the story that we know is that this girl got him from a breeder when he was a puppy. He was born in May of 2019, so he's only like a year and a half old. She lost her job during COVID and had left him with her mom in the country somewhere, and the mom hates the dog. And so the mom had the dog, the pug, and if you know pugs, they cannot stay outside. It gets too hot for them. They can't breathe. But the pug has been outside since she left earlier this year because she lost her job, got a new job, had to leave the dog. And so a woman, I guess, was there to get a kitten for her daughters for Christmas and kept seeing this pug outside and was like, whose pug is this? And this old woman's like, I don't want that dog. That was my daughter's dog. I fucking hate that dog. And the dog's outside with a baby pool and a towel. What's the dog's name? I don't know. Dog doesn't have a name. So this poor dog, after being purchased as a puppy, was then just left. And so we took the dog home. And it's great how they do rescue because they're like, you get to do trial with the dog for a week.
Yeah, that's what we did with Piper.
I have never gone through such a range of emotion with a dog though, because as much as I thought I wanted a second dog, I came up here one day, you know, we had been taking some time off from the office, but I came up to the office and so I had both the dog, which I was calling Mr. Boy because I didn't want to, he didn't have a name. I didn't know what to call him. So we just kept calling him Boy. And I brought him up here and he just had a little more energy. I mean, he's a year and a half and he's actually still pretty chill.
He's still a puppy.
He looks a little bit bulldoggy in the face sometimes. He's really loud. Like he makes, compared to her, he couldn't sit here right now. Yeah, makes monster gremlin noises and he howls. He does like a lot of like,
I love the howlers.
It's really cool. It sounds like he's talking, you know? And anyway, so I called Fran and I was like, when I left here with him after the first day of having him and I took him outside a lot. It was raining and cold. It was just like the worst weather to get a new dog. And I'm like, I don't think I can do it. And it's not about him. It's that I don't think I can do a second dog. Because one, having her so easy, but then when you graduate to 2 dogs, it's like, oh
changes
shit,
everything.
It's more work.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, let's just give it another day. And that's when we kind of got into a fight because he didn't want a boy dog. And then I was like, just be open-minded. And then I was like, I don't want a second dog. And he's like, be open-minded. I was like, well, if I'm going to be open-minded, I need 50% effort here or more. I need you to bond with this dog because here I am feeding them, walking them, and they're like attached to me. Now I have both pugs and I just can't, because we're talking about having a baby. And I'm like, if I get pregnant, I need help. They're going to get so
jealous when you get pregnant.
Oh yeah, but I'm like, I'm going to need help. So we kind of like, he was like, I took them out yesterday. And I was like, they're fucking dogs. They need to go out like 5 times a day. And I was like, I need you to help me clean the kitchen. I need you to help me do all this. I need more help. And because I need more help doesn't mean you're doing a bad job. It means I need more help. And he was like, I give this everything. It was like that kind of fight. And I'm like, okay.
Everybody's had that fight. If you're watching this or listening to this and you're in a relationship, you 100% have yelled at your man for doing this.
So we had it out a little bit. So it was a wonderful New Year's Eve.
So that's where the dog is right now.
So the dog's with Fran. And so he's actually been taking the dog to work, to his office. I mean, I think we're both really lucky that we can take dogs, but I thought I don't want to split them up. I want them to bond together. But now I realize I want that dog to bond with Fran. I mean, he loves me. He's wonderful. So yes, at some point on Saturday, he was just acting so amazing that Fran and I looked at each other and were like, Mr. Hefe.
This is what Mr. Hefe is such a badass name, by the way.
Do you like it?
Freaking love it.
So Foster
Hefe had
been calling him Chief, and so we were talking about we were calling him Mr. Boy. We had picked out a different name for a pug, but it just didn't fit what we originally wanted because we were going to get another little girl, so it didn't work, and so we just kept like toying around with names. So we're like, let's do Mr. Hefe. Yeah,
that's crazy good.
Yeah.
I had the same thing with Piper because if you're thinking of adopting a dog, this is going to happen a lot of the times. Their personality at your house doesn't come out for a minute.
Yeah.
And a lot of people give up like after 2 days. They're like, nope, this isn't working. Got to give it in. That's why they tell you, what was it, like 5 days? Is that what
they ask you to keep them for a week before you make a decision. But you're so right. It's so amazing because but think about how you would feel. You get dumped at some new person's house.
And you don't know how to trust them. So Piper, when we showed up to the foster parents' house, barked at me. And she's not a barker. You've seen Piper. She doesn't bark now. She's not a barker. She starts barking at me and growling, doesn't let me get near her. I wanted this dog. This was the dog I liked. And so I got my feelings all butthurt. Tried to take her for a walk. The foster parent gave us a leash and everything. She wouldn't walk for me. And then they said, just try her at home. Maybe she'll warm up to you. First 2 days at our house, if I looked at her, she'd piss herself. I would just look at her, just a flow.
And it says so much about maybe what had happened to her.
Maybe there was a bad man in her life or something. And it was probably the day before we were going to give her back. We had come to the conclusion. We said, you know what? She doesn't like me. She's not going to like me. And the day before, I don't know if she understood English or whatever. Mm-hmm. She just climbed up on the couch and sat on my lap for the first time. And I was sitting there going I teared up a little bit.
Yeah, they know. They just melt you.
She came over and she sat on my lap and then started licking me and wouldn't stop licking me. And then that was it. That was the moment her personality clicked, and then she became the licking dog. And then we decided to get Coco, which was a huge mistake.
Huge mistake.
Love her.
Yeah.
Still love her. Yeah. Even though she bit Jenna's butt.
It is. It's crazy though. I'm such a softie. I mean, I would have a whole pug farm. I'm like, oh, I see what a slippery slope it is.
Yeah.
I see people say that about tattoos. Like you get one, you're going to get more. But I feel like now I'm going to be that way with pugs. It's like, I said to Fran, I go, I think I want another one already. And he's like, no.
Speaking of tattoos, Kinsey got me that for Christmas.
You got another one?
Not yet. We're going to go in and get it done.
Together?
We're getting a couple's tattoo.
Where? What?
Probably on our wrist.
Cool.
And it's just going to say, love you more. So
oh, that's
one
cool.
Of us, someone we're holding hands.
That's a good gift.
It was her idea. And I was like, okay, cool. Because she's only had one tattoo. So that's one of my Christmas presents. And I think we're going to get it done in a couple weeks.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's cool.
The other presents I may have not done so well. And she got me a guitar, Jenna.
Oh, she knocked it out of the park for you.
Did she call you?
No.
I couldn't wait to do the podcast because I think I complained on the podcast a while back that I've been dropping hints that I want a guitar so bad for Christmas.
No, she did not contact me, but she obviously listened to the podcast, which makes her a supremely supportive wife.
Great listener. Yeah, and she got me a guitar. She did so good. She did such a wonderful job. I'm in love with this guitar. And then I try to go and do well. I don't know how you guys did with presents this year.
What'd you get her?
I thought I listened. And I watch her, and she loves being in the bathroom and doing like makeup and getting ready. She loves doing that. Even though we're in quarantine, she still goes in there and messes around.
Yeah.
So I bought her this vanity mirror that has lights on it, kind of like the one that's shining on us so that we look pretty on the Fitish podcast. And then it also would connect to your phone on Bluetooth because she's always on her phone.
Amazing.
When she's getting ready. So you can be on the phone, it's coming straight out of the speaker, and it can play music.
That's amazing.
She took it back.
Why?
She said one of her friends complained that she was too echoey on the phone. And I said, but I worked so hard, okay? And then I also had bought her, Chloe and I went and bought her a bracelet.
Yeah.
And I felt good about it. I wanted to buy her a belt, but I ended up seeing the bracelet. Chloe liked it. She goes, we got to get this for mommy. It's her favorite color. It's rose gold. We got her the bracelet. She returned that. And then... That's some 0 for 2.
Oh, shit. See, I don't do that. Like, even if I don't like something, I keep it.
I think that's how she was raised. She's just very like, if you don't like something, go take it back. I was raised to where you get a gift, you don't take it back.
I don't. I keep it. I mean, especially when it's from someone that close to you, you know, and I begrudgingly will wear it sometimes. Sure. Yeah.
And also I mostly for Christmas would get socks and underwear, so you can't really take those back anyway. And then I also bought her, and this is the only one that hit, I bought her a curling / hair straightener. Amazing. Yeah. And I went in there and I actually talked to hairstylists. I reached out to hairstylists and asked them which ones they like. I can't even tell you the name of the brand, but it was there at Ulta when I went there. Yeah. And I said, oh, that's the brand that all the girls talk about. Bought her and she loves that one. So I was 1 for 3. Was it the Revlon? No, it wasn't Revlon. That was a weird name that I'd never seen. Not Dyson. No, it wasn't Dyson. I used the Dyson one, but that thing's super, super expensive. It's ridiculous. Yeah, so I did okay. Well, good. Kind of. Okay. I was 1 for 3 in baseball. That's really good. Hey, you can't go wrong with Ulta gifts. Yeah. It was my little sister, Lucy. It was her 13th birthday this weekend. And she's finally at a place that I feel like I get her more, you know, because before she was quite hard to shop for, you know, especially girls at a certain age because they're not into certain things that I would be into. So I just don't know what she likes because they're still kind of young. But Francisco, she's a big TikToker. She's amazing. She does a TikTok video every day. Knows all the dances, and hey, we would too if we were 13. Yeah, probably. We'd be crushing it. Yeah, I would hope I'd be living in the hype house or something. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And so but we were watching one of her videos the other day, and it was one where she was listening to like a really dirty rap song, and then did a transition and had on like full eyeshadow. And Fran and I about fell out because we've never seen her wear makeup, and I was like, is she allowed to wear makeup? But then it was her birthday, and I was like, perfect. So I went into Ulta yesterday, and I got her like the Maddie Ziegler eyeshadow palette and the Revlon brush and the foot all the mask, TikTokers there, like all the TikTok stuff that you see is popular on TikTok, like those weird Asian foot masks that take all your foot skin off, which can't be a healthy thing. So I got her like all this stuff. She did a whole haul video. She was so excited, and then I realized, oh shit, I probably should have asked her mom for permission to buy her makeup, but they said that she's allowed to do it at home for videos, like artistically for fun. Not at school. She can't wear it to school. Yeah, I'm telling you, I probably looked like Buddy the Elf at Ulta. It was my first time going in. Isn't it amazing? It's so cool. I've been to like Sephora and MAC, and those are just makeup, but this place had like all the tools. I love Ulta because it has a little bit of like a convenience store vibe too, you know, like, cause you could get shampoo, conditioner, stuff. Like Sephora is much more like high end makeup, but Ulta has the full range of like the nice stuff, but also kind of the grab and go. Affordable. It's fun to go in there. I like that. I stayed in there and just walked around and looked at the eyelashes. Oh, that's creepy. It was pretty cool.
Hey, speaking of hair, though, by the way.
Oh, yes. You got to take care of that bad boy.
Speaking of hair, I mean, I have, some main goals for the year, and I'm all about hair, but I'm also all about just kind of like supplements and nutrition this year. Like, I just feel like I don't make resolutions. Let's talk about our resolutions in a second, even though I don't really use resolutions. But
when it comes to your hair, leave it to the pros.
Leave it to the pros. By the way, I love that. That's so great. And look at your hair. You're the one that needs to be talking about this right now because I have long hair, but your hair is so ridiculous right now.
Yeah, and this is cool. The cool thing about pros is that you basically tell them what you want, right? You go in there, you take your online quiz, and you're like, all right, I'm looking for more waves in my hair. I'm looking for more shine. I'm looking for it to grow. Whatever you need. Right. And then they put all these ingredients that will help you out with that together to create your own personalized shampoo, basically.
It's so interesting, too, because part of the quiz is easy, but it asks you real personal things that you would think wouldn't be relevant to hair care, like your zip code. And I'm like, well, what does that have to do? Well, of course it does. Weather. Yeah.
Jinx.
Weather, season, or, what are your eating habits? And it's like, oh yeah, like if you've been dieting or maybe you just don't get enough of something, then they're going to take that into consideration and give you a customized formula to help supplement that, right?
Down to the smell of your shampoo. You can get all the way down to the smell of your shampoo. I honestly love it. I think that's what's kept my love for growing my hair longer going because I got my Pros helping me out and making it look right. And look, you could try it out. Pros is a healthy hair regimen with your name all over it. You could take your free in-depth hair quiz right now and get 15% off your first order today. And you can do that at pros.com/Fitish. And Pros is spelled PROSE. So make sure you grab that. Take care of that hair.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't, but kind of going back to the resolution thing, I've shunned resolutions for a while because I think it just sets you up to fail. And now I know it's kind of become a trendy thing to say I don't make resolutions, but there is something that I wanted to do last year. It was a goal for the year. I'm more into kind of goal setting, right? Okay. Or just better habits, not I'm not going to drink or I'm not going to do this. It's more about just the consistency, right? Because I think that's what's hard. It's like you drinking that water, right? It's just like, I just need to set these goals to drink more water or to do whatever. And so for me, one that I failed on last year was to learn Spanish.
Yes.
You will be so proud to know
¿Cómo te va?
that I have done 3 hours of one-on-one Spanish lessons so far already, just in the last week. And as soon as you leave this room today, I have a lesson this afternoon, another hour. So I found this site, and this is not an endorsement or anything like that. I don't even really know if I've decided if I like it or not. But when I was Googling Spanish tutors, and it's hard, right? Because they have the Spanish house here in Dallas, which is great. They actually offer adult classes, and that's where a lot of kids will go to school too. But I don't want to be around people. I'm already antisocial. Spanish house does adult classes. Yeah.
That's where my kids went.
Yeah, exactly. They have kids that go to school there, but then they do adult classes at night. But I just want to do I know myself. It's just like with fitness. If it's not convenient for me, I'm not going to do it. I'm too busy. Yeah. I feel guilt. I have this business to run. So I have this office set up back here in our office. And I said, you know what, I'm going to get this set up. So not only can I work out in that room, but then I could just, excuse myself for an hour once a week and come back here privately, even though it's the middle of the workday. But hey, I own this shit. So whatever, and take Spanish because I need to. I want to communicate with friends, family. I want it for business. And so I found this website called Preply, and it's an online tutoring platform, right? So like, let's say your daughter was struggling with math, you could find a tutor that lived anywhere really and do online tutoring. And so I found it and I thought I'd give it a go. Great. And it's kind of amazing because actually the service, you get on and you can watch videos that different instructors have uploaded, like a minute and a half introducing themselves. They'll do it in English and Spanish. But I mean, if you wanted to learn Arab or you want to learn Chinese.
I want to learn French this year because my bio dad lives in France. His wife is French. My little brothers, I talked to them on New Year's Eve and they were speaking in French and I wanted to. So it was like a cross between Spanish, French, and English. And so I want to learn a little bit of French.
Comment allez-vous? Yeah, see, I know a lot of French actually, but it's kind of thrown me with Spanish. But anyway, so I'm just committing to it. So you buy credit. So I found Pamela. She's from Mexico City. She's actually living in New York. She's 30 years old, and she's studying intensely English at a university, right? So she's trying to master the English language. And I mean, she's fluent in English, of course, but she has a very thick accent, and it was important that I want to learn Mexican Spanish, right? I want to do that because you can do Spain, you know, which is different.
España, sí quiero hablar así el castellano.
So it's been great, but of course, you know, I have my notebook and I'm taking notes. And so I did an hour. Yeah, I've done a few hours now and I have another one today. I mean, right now I'm just on a lot of pronunciation and
you're doing conversational
sentences.
Spanish, right? You're not doing like, oh, you're doing writing and all that? You're doing grammar?
Hell yeah.
Oh,
so
hell.
she actually she shares her screen, which I love because it's like being in school again. And I need to visualize it. You know, I'm not going to be that person when people are like, oh, just watch shows and movies in Spanish and like talk to Fran. No, it doesn't work for me. I need to see it on the screen. And so anyway, I highly recommend it because you can choose. I mean, there's hundreds and it's $20 an hour, or I mean, it could be $10 an hour. It depends on the instructor and their level of experience. And so, and then you book it on their calendar. Like you just get to see that. It's almost like scheduling a Zoom call with someone. You just get to look at their calendar availability.
That is
then
awesome.
Yeah.
That is, and you know what we're going to have to do, Jenna, on the podcast? We're going to have to do the Spanish Minute.
The Spanish Minute.
As you get better and better, I'm going to put you in different situations to see how you would do with your Spanish.
Well, right now, I'm only at the juncture that I learned that y'all don't have a Z sound, which is crazy to me. I knew the B and the V, but I didn't know the Z is an S.
It's more an S.
Zapata. Yeah, I didn't know that. And so, yes, sounds. And so today my lesson's on colors and numbers, which I know a few colors and numbers, but it's amazing because now I start thinking about Spanish all the time, taking it 3 hours a week. And I'm like, you know, I don't know. I don't have a fluency goal like at the end of the year, but I bet if I do 3 hours a week, every week this whole year.
You crush it. And also, I don't know if you've noticed this, but Spanish is the easiest language to read because it's once you know what the sounds are like, what vowels are supposed to sound like, you just sound it out and it's that way. Unlike English, where the same word can sound 2 different ways.
Gosh, you say that because it comes easily to you.
No, I say that because I speak both.
She has me doing tongue twisters, and your pronunciation is crazy because it is so different than English, right?
Or is English so different than Spanish?
Right, it is. But anyway, so that's a
really
goal
cool,
for
though.
me. I mean, that's really one of my only goals for the year.
Dime algo de ti, Jenna. Dime algo.
I don't know. No sé.
No sé. There you go.
No sé.
That's perfect. Tell me something about yourself. He said, I don't know. When in doubt, just say no sé. It'll get you out of a couple situations. They'll ask you something, no sé.
But I'll tell you what, it's funny because, and I know you probably haven't taken a class like that in a while. Like I'm tired. I'm tired after I do the class, you know, and maybe it's kind of how when we were doing a TV show, like you have to be so on and engaged, but when it's just you and an instructor and you feel very embarrassed, but it's kind of nice because I don't want Fran to be around right now when he's listening to me do like, A, B, C, Che, you know, like I'm trying to sound out the alphabet.
Oh, she said the che, guys.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's funny, but Pamela's my girl. Pamela's supportive. And she doesn't let me yap too much.
Does she listen to the podcast? She should.
No, she doesn't know anything about me, I don't think.
Oh, nothing?
I mean, I gave her like a quick intro.
Pamela.
But Pamela seems cool. So, but she's good. Yeah. And then she sounds stuff out and she screen shares. So I get like a whole lesson on the screen and then homework.
Next time you do a lesson with her, I'm gonna give you two words that you can use in their slang in Spanish.
Chinga tu madre?
Don't say chinga tu madre. She'll probably hang up on you. That's not a very nice thing to say.
I just can't believe, for y'all that don't know this, that saying the F word, which is what that is, it literally is blank your mother, which is so offensive, but that's what people say just to say the F word. Well, right?
That's more of a like insult, like chinga tu madre, fuck your mom.
Yeah.
That's what you're basically saying, right?
But what if I just wanted to say like, fuck?
In English, you're calling somebody a motherfucker. And so that's not that much of a diss.
Oh, I thought that was still what you said when you said, like saying the F word.
There's no correct transition or translation to that.
But if you like stubbed your toe and you wanted to yell the F word. Huh?
A chingada. Chingao. Well, yeah, that's usually what I would say.
I just can't wait till
puta madre.
Yeah, I can't wait till I just can like fight with Fran at a really high level of volume in Spanish.
Oh, you're gonna be so good. You're gonna be like Sofia Vergara, but with curse words.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah,
I remember my first time I went back to Mexico after we moved to the U.S. and I thought I was Mr. Hotshot because I had learned how to speak English, but mostly because I learned the curse words. My cousin and I were playing soccer in the driveway, and I don't know why, but we got in a big old fight. And I just started screaming at him with English curse words only. He had no idea what I was saying, but I felt so cool that I was just screaming at him and just all the curse words I knew in English, just screaming. And I remember I finished And he's just staring at me weird. And I looked behind me and my mom was standing there. Out of all the people that were there.
And she knew English.
Yeah, she knew what those, she had been in the US long enough to know that those were bad words. Out of all the people that could have heard me say those things, because my uncle would have heard it and he would have been like, oh, I don't know what he's saying. Cool. She heard me. She whooped my ass so hard in front of him. For every curse word she heard, I got 3.
And then he's laughing at you.
And he ended up winning that battle right there. But next time when you mess up, say, ay caray. That's a slang. That's a slangy. That's a slang. Ay caray.
Ay caray.
Yeah, caray. Like, oh man. It's not a bad word. You can say it. Kids say ay caray.
Is it like golly gee?
Kind of like, oh dang. Like damn. It's almost like saying damn.
Oh gosh.
Ay caray.
Oh gosh.
It's not that dorky, but it's like I guarantee she'll look at you and be like, wait a minute, did Francisco teach you that? And go, no. My Mexican friend did.
Oh, I'll flow. I'll be flowing soon. It'll be good. And then I see you drinking all that water, which is very admirable. I'm pretty good with my water. I mean, I don't drink like that, but I don't think I do a gallon a day, but I try and do like 2 liters a day.
That's going to be hard. I feel full.
That's good though.
I feel full everywhere.
You won't. Yeah, I got to stop eating the junk food. And then this is something that last year I kind of failed on, even though we have been talking about and working with Care of, and these customized vitamin supplement packs. I just like go through those phases where I don't take stuff, or I have other vitamins that I've had and then I was like looking at expiration dates. I'm like, no, this isn't going to work. And I was like, I'm just going to stick with these Care Up packs. They make it so easy, but I'm actually going to commit to taking them.
Get back on it
every day. Cause you've been doing this. I know you say you feel amazing.
I renew my Care Ofs all the time. And this is great. If anything, if you don't do it, at least take from what I've learned from having COVID, at least do vitamin C every day. But there's so many other vitamins that our body needs. And a lot of the times when you go to the store, you'll just sit there and you'll stare at everything. Because do you ever know what everything is, right? Like it says, this is for your skin health, and this is for your hair growth, and this is for your eyesight. And I don't know if they're freaking telling me the truth or they're just trying to sell me some bullshit.
And you know what else is interesting? I thought about you may relate to this, but just me personally, I think as a woman, it's like when you start off a new year and you're like, well, I need to stop eating X, Y, and Z, right? Like I need to stop eating, carbs or gluten or sugar. And you start doing that kind of elimination diet so you feel better, but then you don't realize that you're probably not getting some of the stuff that you've been getting all this time, right? So you're not getting certain nutrients. Not that there's a lot of nutrients in salt and vinegar potato chips, but when I go to eat healthier, I actually tend to not eat as many vegetables because I'll just like eat some protein and then I don't eat anything else, right? And so I'm not getting certain like fibers and things that I need. So that's where Care Of really comes into play.
And everybody's different, and all of Care Of's products are formulated with good for you, clean ingredients, and they're backed by science. And maybe your body needs more of this and more of that. And so all you got to do is go online, take their quiz. Everything personalized for you is going to be awesome, right? Mm-hmm. This is why we do things like this, like Care Of. So you go take your quiz, what you're looking for, what you need, how's your sleep, and then they'll take care of that. They'll formulate it, and then they'll give you your own little vitamin pack with your name on it too, by the way, which usually has a nice little greeting or a little quote for you as well, which is really awesome. So I never get it confused with my wife's. It just says Jose, and Kinsey says Kinsey's. And then we take our every single day at the same time. It's ready to go for me right there in that pack.
I love this. For 50% off your first Care Of order, just go to takecareof.com/Fitish50 and enter the code Fitish50. That's FITISH50. Again, that's takecareof.com/Fitish50 and enter the code Fitish50 for 50% off your first Care Of order. Maybe I'll be generous and get Fran some as well.
On my next one with Care Of, I'm going to need some for my brain because my memory sucks.
Really? And what's happening?
But it's a good thing.
The water should help.
I think it'll help, but Kinsey reminded me of things. Normally girls remind us guys of things where we messed up.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, I remember back in 2002 when you blocked.
Yeah, and I was wearing this outfit and you did this.
But this was different. This was something I had done that I should remember.
What?
2 things. So she was chatting with a friend on New Year's, and I was just listening because I'm just sitting there listening into her conversation, and she's FaceTiming. And her friend was in a new relationship, and like the dude was basically missing New Year's. Right? So she's in a new relationship. The dude's missing New Year's because he had to go out of town for something.
What?
Business. He's a business. Like he was working. He's working. He's like a business.
He didn't have a family.
Yeah. And so she goes, well, you know what Jose did for me one New Year's? And my ears perked up because I'm like, I have no idea where this is going. So this could be good or I might just get embarrassed here.
Yeah.
And she goes, one year Jose had to host a New Year's Eve party. So then that doesn't narrow it down because we've done that a lot, Jenna. I've hosted a lot of New Year's Eve parties. I used to host a New Year's countdown at my old radio station. So I'm sitting there going like, oh, is it the time that she came over to my station and kissed me at midnight? Like while I was doing my countdown? And I was like, no, because I did it. And she goes, yeah, he was hosting this party with a Playboy Playmate. And then it clicked. And I said, oh, I remember that party. And she said, I was really self-conscious because I was pregnant with Chloe. And I'm going like, what the hell did I do? And she said, he left me a note that I found after he left. And it said, do not open till midnight or 11:50 something. And then when I opened it, it led me to the pantry where he had hidden Hershey's Kisses and another note.
You did that?
I did that.
You did? I don't remember that
dope
story.
As shit, bro.
And I feel like I knew y'all then. I don't know that story.
Hold on, let me see if Kinsey will answer the phone. This might not happen. But yeah, she said I left her Hershey's Kisses so that we could share a Hershey's Kiss at midnight. And I had one in my jacket.
That's so cheesy, but it's cute.
So cheesy, but dope. I was like, how the hell did I not remember? She looked at me. She goes, you don't remember doing that for me? And I was like, absolutely not. And she goes, do you remember when you had to wipe my butt? And that was another one. I was like, no.
Why'd you have to wipe her butt? After a baby?
A surgery. Yeah, your boy. I guess I must have just put that to the back. To the recesses
that was
of my
your
brain.
old nursing shoes coming back.
That was my nursing shoes, yeah. So she reminded me of like two things I've done that I think are pretty dope that I had totally forgotten about.
Amazing. I'm impressed with you.
So definitely next year, dudes, if you're listening, you got to travel or any holiday. I don't even know where I got that idea from. I don't know. I don't even remember doing that, but there you go. There's something you can do. You can always be present. You can always do something for your loved ones. But isn't that cool?
So nice.
That's not the only time I've used Hershey's Kisses. But that one, the other one I do remember. And this was when Kinsey and I had first started dating. And I was trying everything I could to keep her because she was way above my grade.
Uh-huh.
I bought her I've told you this story. I spent my savings on a promise ring from Zales.
Yep.
It was $199. And it was just a little tiny rock. And I hung it from the shower head. And so when she got home, I had rose petals on the ground with Hershey's Kisses. Mm-hmm. Again, corny alert. And then I put the rest of the
seems to be the theme.
Rose petals or the roses hanging from the shower head, but the ring was hiding behind it. And then there was rose petals in the tub. And I had a note that said, now that I've kissed the ground you walk on, Hershey's Kisses on the ground, and showered you with love, roses, I would like to make you a promise. And then I gave her the ring. She thought I was proposing.
Yeah, I bet. The promise ring is a little risky. Like, I wouldn't recommend a promise ring if you're any age above like 20 because...
I was 19.
Yeah, that's good. That's
I was 19. I was 19.
That's sweet because, like, could you imagine if Fran gave me a promise ring right now?
Oh, no, you can't do that. As a dude, as an adult, you can't give promise rings.
Like, beat it.
But my mom and dad got mad at me, obviously, because I spent my savings and bought her a ring. And I said, nope, this one's it, Mom. This is the girl.
That was the romantic Mexican in you.
Yeah. I don't know where I think that is a Mexican thing because Franny's very romantic.
He is.
Kinsey might say I'm not as romantic as I used to be because it does get watered down a little bit after kids.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I did. So that was pretty cool to remember that I did such cool things.
So sweet. I need to do, man, I keep wanting to break out the Love is Art with Fran, this thing I've had for like.
Is that the paint while having sex thing?
I still haven't done it. Yeah, the body paint, like you lay on it, you make the art, and I still haven't done it. I had this grand plan on his birthday. To lay it out with candles and I finally got curtains in the living room because I couldn't really do it in the living room because there's a window. And so I need curtains. Like I have curtains on one set of windows.
Yeah, you don't want creepy people watching you.
And the living room's the better place to do it because I don't want to do the paint on the carpet in the bedroom. And so anyway, I really did. He doesn't believe me, of course, because he thinks I'm like no fun in bed, I think. But I had this plan to lay it out in the living room with like candles and stuff because we were going to go to the symphony. But then that's when he got like the flu and he was in bed for 4 days.
Oh,
and I was like,
poor dude.
I know, on his birthday. Terrible. So maybe.
Still haven't gotten around to it?
I still haven't gotten around to it.
Speaking of kinky stuff, the other day, Kinsey and I turned on the TV, and it was on one of those, like the QVC channels where you're buying stuff.
Yeah.
But normally they're selling like...
Yeah. Why are they selling? Yeah. But sexual health and sexual wellness has become very popular.
Yeah. So this was all sex toys.
Yeah.
So it must have been something, and then it, you know, they pay for the time slots. It was sex toys, but we watched it for about 30 minutes, and not because we were going to buy anything, but because they were using like this professional voice guy to describe the sex toys.
So funny.
And the clitoris blaster 5000 with 5 megahertz or whatever. He was like, but he's giving you like all these technical terms, but the names of it. And he's like a professional announcer that you would probably hear on a QVC channel. But he was just basically talking about all these funny ass sex toys.
Jobs to do QVC, because it's like they have to have so many descriptor words to get you really hyped to purchase that.
Yeah.
But it is amazing to see toys. I remember when I went up to New York to do a training at Neiman Marcus there for Fitish, and I was really excited when they started selling us at this store in New York. I mean, you know, a big retailer like that, and a trend in beauty has become technology, right? So like the kind of cool mirrors you're talking about, and facial and tools and devices. And then I saw what looked to be like a giant vibrator dildo situation, and I was like, is that like a back massager or like a really cool contraption for like skincare? And I'm looking and I'm like, no, that's like actually like on display in the beauty section. They had all sorts of sex toys.
Oh, it's out there
So
now?
I asked the salesperson there, and they're like, yes, sexual wellness is part of the beauty regimen. Like it's like a thing that they're like selling in the department stores on the floor now. It's just crazy.
Wow. Yeah. No, now they got
They were classy looking, like nice ones. You know, it wasn't like the, you know, modeled after like porn star contraptions, but it was still wild to see some of those toys there.
The people that were selling it on this channel too, one of them was like a good looking older lady. Like she was not older. I mean, she was probably like late 40s, early 50s at the, you know, at the most, but she was pretty, but she didn't strike me. I thought they would use like porn stars for this. And then the other lady was just like, she looked like she was in a power suit. And then she had like the shaved head, like kind of like the mohawk thing, like shaved, floofy up top, and then shaved on the sides. And she was going in on the descriptions.
That's a good skit idea for y'all to do for the morning show. You remember when we did the weather reports? You should do it to where you just stand on frame and then someone just tosses you something and you have to sell it.
Yep. Because this lady was going in, she goes, I use this 3 times a week, and let me tell you this. They need some caution wet floor signs when I'm through with this. Like this type of stuff. I'm like, wow, this woman's wild,
what channel was this? Was this an SNL skit?
No, it was on the Sex Shopping Network.
Oh, the Sex Shopping Network.
I don't know if it's a network, but it was a sex shop.
Okay, I thought you said it was like on QVC. I was like, no, I see.
No, that was in QVC.
A late night sex shop.
It wasn't even that late night. It was like 9 o'clock. And it was like
late for us.
And it got me. The only reason it's like, and then when we looked at the description, it's sex toys, 50% off. And it's out there. So now I'm scared that my kids are going to see it, or that they were watching it because it was already on when I turned on the TV.
Yeah, they pick up everything now, I bet. Right?
That's absolutely what they pick. They pick up everything.
Oh my gosh, we were celebrating. I know I told you earlier, it was my little sister Lucy's 13th birthday. And, you know, we watch all sorts of movies, usually terrible ones. So we're a family that loves horror movies, but there's never very many good horror movies out these days. And so we're always just giving it a shot. So we turned on a movie last night that my stepmom picked out, and it was a Keanu Reeves horror movie, but it was called Knock Knock. And Ana de Armas is actually in it. That girl that's dating Ben Affleck. So I don't know when this movie came out. It's a little old, but it's about these 2 girls that show up in the rain to Keanu's house, and he stayed behind when his wife and kids went somewhere for the weekend. He was finishing a project, and then they decide to like torment him. But it's so inappropriate, the movie, because they like take advantage of him, and then they decide to like kind of ruin his life, you know, because I'm just giving the whole plot line away, but like they're underage and they're being crazy and they won't leave his house. But then they're like, go ahead, like call the cops on us and we'll let them know that we're 15 years old, after he
hell no,
already like gave in and like had like this like orgy session with them. Anyway, it's so inappropriate that my stepmom's like, Lucy, this is when we sing a song. And I'm like, why are we even watching this movie? Let's just turn it off because there was like no horror about it. There was nothing
just
scary.
bad.
It was like just a lot of sex. And I was like, it's so awkward to sit there with like Dylan, who's 16, almost 16, Lucy's 13, Fran, me, my dad, and my stepmom. And we're watching this like pornographic movie. It's so funny.
With the parents?
We turned it off. I mean, usually it's like violence is fine. Like no amount of gore and violence is troublesome. It's just, the sex scenes. It's like when you go watch a movie. My dad and I used to go to the movie theater a lot when I was little. That was like our bonding thing. And so it's just so funny because every now and then, you go to see an R-rated movie and we're the kind of family that's just cool with kids watching R-rated movies, but not the sex stuff, obviously. I mean, she's only 13. And so it's like.
Yeah, no. I can't. I can't. My kids are getting to that point. They want to watch those. Not sex, but
they're
starting to ask about rated R movies. And my parents let me watch rated R movies. And I remember being like 6 years old and watching Nightmare on Elm Street and seeing a dude doing it in a tent and then getting killed or whatever.
Yeah.
But not thinking like, oh, this is super sexy.
No. And I don't think certain scary movies, even though they're violent, are as bad as I remember going to a sleepover in 7th grade. And so that would have made me her age. So that was 13. And I went and I remember my friend's mom called my mom to make sure it was okay because we were all going to watch Eye for an Eye. Did you ever see that Sally Field movie? Eye for an Eye, Kiefer Sutherland. No. Remember he rapes and murders her daughter in the first scene of the movie, and then Sally Field goes on like a absolute brilliant revenge mission to destroy him because he got away with it. He was like a food delivery guy. Whoa. And he's like a piece of shit. It's a great movie, but I remember that kind of content is so intense for a 13-year-old to watch because like that first scene of the movie is pretty terrible. Yeah. And so they asked my mom for permission. Of course, my mom Candy's like, sure.
Oh,
yeah, no. She didn't know. She's like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, see, she watches all sorts of R-rated, but there's like a different level of R-rated movie.
That reminded me of the story I saw towards the end of last year. This Mexican lady went on a mission to find the people that. Did you see that?
That's a real story.
That was a real story. This lady,
she ended up dying, but she killed some people along the way, didn't she?
I think so. I don't know what ended up happening to her, but yeah, I think it was cartel guys or something.
And they killed her daughter.
They killed her daughter. She was just an innocent bystander or something. And she just.
I think she killed a few of them before she ended up dying.
She went out around in Mexico in cartel towns asking for, where's this guy? Where's Juanito? Where's this guy? Where's this guy? And then she would find him and try to get revenge back. This mom was a badass. And they asked her, well, what if I think they did ask her, what happens if they catch you or what? I died the day my daughter died is what her response was. That if that's not a movie in the next year or so, I don't know.
How do you say taken?
Agarrado.
That sounds better.
Agarraron. There used to be commercials when I was little. This is why I was so freaking scared to go on the street.
She's like Shiam Neeson.
They used to have commercials in Mexico when I was little that were called Ojo, Mucho Ojo, which basically meant like watch out, like be on the lookout, keep your eyes open. It was for kids.
Like, is that much eyes?
Yeah, because and it was about, I think it was about kidnapping. Because my mom always
trying to translate.
My grandma used to always tell me, and my mom used to always tell me that in Mexico I was probably gonna get kidnapped.
Yeah, because I told you, Brad had a tracker in his arm.
I'm like, what the?
Do you know that?
But I'm not. I was poor. Franny, at least, like, his family was decent, probably middle class, right?
Yeah, I think middle, yeah. But that's what he said. If you were in any kind of middle class setup, they had trackers.
I legit would have died, Jenna, because it would have gotten me. They'd be like, oh, blonde kid, rich. That's what they equate to right down there. Blonde, and then they would have gotten me, and then they would have asked for some money back, and my family would have been like, yo, we got chiclets, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And that would have been a
goner. Keep him.
Yeah, they would have been like, keep him. We didn't get the money, man. I would have been so screwed. I never had any close calls, though, that I can remember. Did you ever have any close calls as a kid with any scary situations like vans, people trying to lure you?
Nope.
Yeah, neither did I.
Not that I remember, but Fran has an amazing story.
Oh, we might have to get him on here.
Oh, we need to get him on here. He has a full on
about him?
Like car chase, flat tire, going over a median, like full on like trapped between cars story. Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Parents out of town. Yeah, it's like a very intense, almost kidnapping story. But the funnier part about his tracker is that he found out from his family that I think he still has the tracker under his skin. He said there was a period of time in Mexico where it was like a news flash. Like a lot of kids were getting kidnapped. They recommended that, they offered this service. It was like $500 or something to get the tracker put into your kids. And so his parents got it put in. And so, he said it was just a thing like when he was he was like 10 or 12 years old. but that he found out just in more recent years that like after a year that they weren't paying for the service anymore, because of course, I mean, it's like a ring, like you got to pay for it, right? Like you got to pay for the service once you have it. And they hadn't been paying on it in years, and all the kids still have the tracker in their system.
Wow. I never got a tracker.
Yeah. I don't, the tracker's kind of cool. Because I was joking that I wanted to reactivate his tracker. For my personal, just for me. So I knew even if his phone was out of range, that I knew that I was tracking him.
Kinsey tracks me, like not tracks me in a bad way, but she just has me on Find My Friends because she watches Dateline too much. So she always thinks something bad's going to happen. And so I'll get random text messages from Kinsey like, what are you doing at Target? And I'll look around because I'm thinking she went to Target too.
Well, that's creepy. See, I don't do that. What I do is, hey, where are you? Even though I know exactly where you are. Just to make sure he's being honest.
She knows.
Yeah.
She does.
You know what Brand did though? He turned his off.
I've done that. When I get mad at her.
He turned it off apparently because him and Danny realized that week he was proposing to me. He was running all over town doing stuff. He was going to that hotel and the jewelry store. And he was worried that I was going to be checking his location. And I was honest. I was like, I really didn't check his location that much. Like maybe around 5 o'clock if he was supposed to be coming home and I'm hungry and I'm cranky and I'm sitting on the couch waiting on him to get food or whatever. And I see he's like still at his office. I'll look. And that's about the only time that I would do it. But he's like, I was so worried that she was going to look at my location when I was running around town. So he ended up turning it off. And of course he hasn't turned it back on.
You didn't notice? I turned it off one time.
No, I didn't notice.
I got mad at Kinsey and I turned it off.
Yeah.
And then I turned it back on.
It's like a good move in a fight. Like you leave the house and turn off your location.
Yeah.
Actually, I hate that.
I'm going for a walk.
I was like, no leaving when we're fighting. Yeah.
Oh, you don't leave when you fight? I do. I go to the
No,
walks.
I've worked on that. That's something in therapy we've worked on because him and I both have like abandonment issues. And so I was like, you can't just like fight and leave, especially if you've been drinking or something like that. You know, I work on, because what I used to do is I don't want to talk and he wants to talk. And so I would if it got really out of hand, I would just like go stay in a hotel. Mm-hmm. And he didn't like that.
Oh, you leave for like the night.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, no. We just go for walks.
Oh, no.
And it's like the race, like who's ever closest to the door because we have kids and obviously both of us can't leave. So it's got to be like, I got to be the first one to leave so that I could get the free air.
So you know if you start fighting, you start getting closer to the front door.
I started moving towards the door because I know eventually. And then one time she walked out of the patio door and I was like, you damn smart ass.
Yeah.
You smart ass
That's
girl.
so funny. No, we make an agreement now that we don't just like go get in the car and zoom off. So if anything, I just like go to my like closet or bathroom upstairs. Like I need a minute. Yeah, I'm trying not to leave, you know, but he had to compromise because I still prefer to go to bed angry sometimes. I don't want to talk it out at night. I'd rather just wait until I cool down.
I don't want to say this because if she listens, she'll know my tricks, but she's going to listen. Kinsey will get mad. And now she doesn't walk. She goes to the front patio, to the porch, and she sits down and calls her friends. And now I know what she talks about because I got the Ring doorbell. And so I'll sit there and I'll activate it and I'll just listen. I'll be like, I wonder what is she saying about me to her friends?
Yeah, what's she saying?
And then a lot of the times, like, Jose's just being such an asshole right now. She's just like, he did this. And then obviously the friend goes, what did he do? And then she'll tell her. And then I could hear her friend going like being the negotiator and bringing her down from the tree and going like, well, maybe he's feeling like, I'm like, I love your friends because they actually like are not instigating. Yeah. They're not moving it along. So because we all have that asshole friend that will love these situations. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're single and they don't want you to be in a relationship. So they'll add gasoline to that fire. And I'll be like, yeah, screw that guy. You should divorce him. Oh yeah. What about the time he did this? No, her friends every time have always been like, well, maybe he's thinking about this, or maybe he was going at this angle, or maybe he's feeling frustrated. She has the coolest friends when it comes to that. Jenna's got to pee. We're going to take a break.
I mouthed it to him. So you don't want me to tell it. Yeah, idiot. I was like, I have to pee. And without saying it into the mic or on camera, just so he'd pick up. And then he's like, Jenna has to pee.
That's all right. Jenna's got to pee. Do you want me to tell our friends about features, though, while you do that so your feet don't get all sweaty and stuff?
I actually am wearing mine. I love them so much.
Here's the thing. I know a lot of the times when you work out or a lot of us are going to start running outside, socks can be a hassle. We'll get those blisters. Our feet will get too sweaty. This is why having the proper sock is going to be excellent for you. And Features offers that for you because Features has solely focused on engineering Features has solely focused on engineering innovative high-performance socks for almost 20 years. So they have skins on the wall. They know what they're doing when it comes to socks.
And you know what I hate about certain socks when you're wearing the ones that are kind of more no-show style?
Yeah.
Sometimes they like cut off my circulation. They're so tight, or they slip off. And these have this like little rubber that sticks. I really love it.
My features, my low-cut features never fall off when I'm using my shoes. And those are the ones I like to wear when I'm working out. And honestly, my shoes never smell because features absorbs all my sweat. I rarely, I don't even get, I went and played football, Jenna, for Thanksgiving. And normally I'll get my blisters going because I haven't played in a long time with my cleats. I didn't get a single blister this year.
Have the Cowboys picked you up yet?
No, they haven't picked me up. They definitely should have. They would have made it to the playoffs.
You know what's wild? Features are the #1 running stock in America. They have grown because people love them. They wouldn't be that if they didn't. And if you are listening to Fitish right now, you can get $10 off your first pair by going to features.com. All right. And that's spelled FEETURES, features.com, and using the code Fitish. Again, that's $10 off your first pair at FEETURES.com and enter the promo code Fitish at checkout.
They have every cut you need. Long socks, short socks, low cut socks, all the socks just for you.
Yeah, once again, features.com and code Fitish for $10 off your first pair of features. Well, this was a good first podcast back.
It was a good time. It was a good time. I'm glad you and Franny got engaged and were able to talk about it. You can wear your ring. Everybody knows now. Now we just got to wait for the wedding.
I do like the ring. I do. I don't want a wedding though, so don't be disappointed. A lot of people are asking about that. We'll get into it a little bit next week. And of course, if you want us to talk about anything this year that you're looking forward to or need help with, always email us at thepodcast@fitish.com.
Bye, guys.
Bye.